people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 19 of the Greatest Attorney 2 Resolve. Last time, we completed our investigation, and we then went on to the second day of trials, in which basically Shamspeare returned to the stand. He tried to state the excuse that he used Natsume's tea and that was in Natsume's cup. That basically, to make the coins, when it was proven that the strychnine was not found in the tea samples that were in the coins. So we proved that wrong by presenting the teacup, and now we are basically going down the rabbit hole some more. Why, I did partake of my favorites. A broth as would it be called soup, and a leaf as would it be called salad. As insalubrious as a menu as the establishment where it was served. I only eat at the finest establishment, 5 stars or nothing. But you ye gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment 'tis seen fit to serve a wicked thief or gas, but I pray ye wise and noble fellows, never forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another. Jurors all, your humble servant Shamspeare doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. I don't know who's talking. My lord! If I might speak, my lord! Yes, Mr. Foreman? I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer. Again! By me? I do declare, you may be right. We all know the waif there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm. But this lawyer lad says if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, eh? He's been leading us up the God's path. That's what he's been doing. I really never said anything like that. But what we just heard from the victim here has opened our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it. The court acknowledges the position of the jury foreman, and will duly hear the jury's findings. What? No! You can't yet. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord. Oh, happy day! How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination. Very well. The court upholds the defense's right. Typical, my learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth. And this is going to happen again, isn't it? What next? What next? Are you going to turn the jury against me by bringing up the fact that the sky is blue? Is that going to be it today? The sun was bright. Ergo, this man Shamspeare must be hung at the gallows? This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which he's been charged. Let's do this. Judicial findings. I'm a matter of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. I do agree that the gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying. The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal gas, is it? Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver around the city and maintain the pipes. My wife serves up for me is a little sculpted at times. If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat. But never mind. No, you really should mind. The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hoped. And Mr. Shamspeare was poisoned. There can be no doubt about that. Then how are we supposed to turn this around? I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamspeare was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly. But that's surely almost impossible at this stage. If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsume will... will be found guilty.
No noise, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
And I love how just Shamspeare is standing off in the corner with just that goofy grin on his face. Okay.
Hold it!
You mean it's poisoned?
That's right. It's happened a few times now.
This is most trouble indeed. Frankly, considering how juror number 5's wife is described, you would think that she would have killed him with the bathtub by bludgeoning with a bathtub.
It's always days like this one where I don't get any wages. I get in my tea. I get at tea time, see? And I still doing it. My wife. Get that devil's look on her face, and she slips some white powder into my cup.
And you drink it anyways? Yeah, that is revealed that basically during Tigre's trial that basically he was Tigre.
Mr. Tigre, why did you use potassium cyanide?
I don't know. I don't know. The woman said to use it. I was being hurt by a ghost lady. I was just following orders by the ghost lady.
I was Papa, I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it.
And what happened to you? What did it taste like?
It was god-awful, believe you me. Salty as hell. That is what we call salt.
Then I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt.
No! So, she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly? Unbelievable. Let's move on, please.
Hold it!
Okay, let's press you now. Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you haven't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so. She's really buzzing now. All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosions and poisonings. What about electricity? What about getting electrocuted? What about that? A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison.
Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable.
My point exactly, but the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know. More devious? Who, madam? Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting. We generate gas and deliver it to our customers fair and square.
Indeed, nobody's questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company.
But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all. What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go around selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell it. The gas pirates! Yeah, basically, now I'm imagining just basically some guys in a boat on wheels just driving around London, just taking giant tanks of gas.
They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible?
Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious retrobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert gas into their own round pipes. Then they make a contract with a household supplied by those pipes and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us ever knowing. They're diverting gas to their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of theft. When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from our meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks. Yes, let us pursue.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3? Oh, golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself about how my plans to steal gas have been foiled. Darn it, that little girl with pink hair, she said that would be so easy if I sold the gas. I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what that lady next to you was saying, correct? Well, yes. I just got a little riled up about it recently, you see. Go on.
An Altamont gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check on your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, and do you know what he did?
I'm afraid I have no idea. Please tell us.
He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it.
What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets there.
Oh, please, everybody knows. But it was nearly the death of me, I can tell you.
What do you mean? I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network. Yes, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it? Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a very low pressure. By blowing out through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment.
Ah, I see. In other words, if upon blowing in the pipe, the lights on an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes.
Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker.
The trouble is, the particular worker who came by my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you?
Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean...
That's right. The lights didn't just flicker. They went out, along with the stoves. Gas started pouring into the house.
What disaster!
The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out. I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all, I said?
So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And when the gas starts flowing again, it just suddenly seeps into the room.
Mr. Naruto, I think perhaps...
Yes, this is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information.
Oh, well, if you like, I don't mind.
Well, I do! That's our company secret method of identifying the rogues that try to...
Like I said, madam, it's widely known already.
Very well. Juror number 3, you will amend your statement accordingly.
Yes, my lord. Although I'm not really sure what the point of all this is.
Okay, we will pit you against... Okay, there we go. Okay, I just want to make sure. Yep, sure enough.
Objection.
There we go. Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good gracious. Two statement you refer to, counsel?
Juror number 6, did you hear what juror number 3 just said? Huh? What? Yes, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other. There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a matter of speaking, past the victim's lips on the night in question. What? What explanation? I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene to see if there were any traces of poison there?
I was curious to see what your flounder would result in this time. But the mouth of a gas pipe? Scotland Yard has enough to do without exploring such irrelevance.
What a piece of work is a man! What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspeare? What speakest thou? Prithee, is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir. I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strixene could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison gained into your body.
Good lord! Are they tested on the gas pipes? Is that what he's saying?
Or is the government gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry, he tried to fill his belly with gas?
Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him, For shame, madam, speaking thy fancy.
And FYI, none of the women reject Shamspeare. They say that I am a Sigma. I assure you, I am no such buffoon that I would have to kiss pipes. I stick with the vacuums or greater, thank you very much.
Objection!
This is no summation examination. This is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my anybody's friend's conjecture. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to place his lips to the pipe that feeds it, he would have had to have been a contortionist. These are empty citations. There is no possible proof that the man did as you say.
Objection!
It's true, I have no proof that Mr. Shamspeare put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspeare has been doing something in front of the lamp on his wall. And I have the evidence to prove it. Alright, you got our attention, lad. I'd like to see how you can be so sure of yourself. So would I. Let's see this evidence then. Now that I've got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. This is the proof that, time and time again, Mr. Shamspeare stood in front of the gas lamp. Handprints on the wall. Yep, sure enough.
Take that!
What is that? These are, wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints that were found at the scene.
Skin prints, Consul? I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently asserting whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however.
My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective Mr. Sherlock Holmes. It reveals all the places that Mr. Shamspeare touched in his room.
I don't say anything like it. It's not black magic, is it? Well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's that great Jones fellow, that's for sure.
I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating. We found skin prints in many prints and many places that you would expect. On the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspeare also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here. Around the hanging place there, indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible. Well, I wonder, could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps? At first, my colleagues and I thought the same thing. However, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of... In front of? Ah! I don't believe it! Yes, the gas lamp. Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamspeare has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp.
Alright, what have you been up to, you nut?
I have been having that gas lamp perform fellatio upon my groin. I'd ask the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement. Me? What did I just say? You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now, if you'll recall juror number 3's statement. What, me now? When the gas worker who visited the home, his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights in the gas stove to go out, and gas started to leak into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is, if Mr. Shamspeare were to have blown hard into the gas pipes in his room, he could have extinguished every other lighting gas stove in the building as well, at will. Crikey! Are you suggesting that the man purposely caused the gas to...
Objection!
I need my... Chalice, take me away! Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination. I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law. What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Zieks? The curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin print. Clearly, that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case.
But it's an exciting new forensic technique developed by a great detective.
Great my ass! It's nothing, a mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands.
Ah!
Certainly. Even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence. But
Please, my lord, if I may.
Mr. Sato,
It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene as a tool by which to explain the possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors will agree. You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide.
juror number 3.
Oh yes, I do declare that the great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating, and I want to hear what that shady actor fellow has to say about those shady handprints.
What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy.
well, I did say it, didn't I? And I don't like to break a promise.
No, wait! You are his lordship, it's not that bad, think of evidence.
I play by my own rules.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruto. If just one more juror changes his or her mind, Mr. Natsume's trial will have to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Sato, but I couldn't have done without you.
Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success.
Why, Mr. Shamspeare, you seem to be losing your composure.
Just one more juror, Mr. Naruto. You can do it!
Very well. Continue, counsel.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Hold it!
Let's see what we have. Okay, yep. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Okay, let's see. The gas companies, let's see what's going on. Come on. Yes, we have heard this before. Yeah, we're probably going to have to go with her. I had no idea. It's almost unbelievable.
It might seem unbelievable to you, but it's happening all the time, right here in the capital. It's very difficult telling something you can't see, you know. Very difficult indeed.
Thank you. That will do. Clearly, this has been a very involved subject, but I feel we may have digressed rather too much already. I concur, though my learned friend wishes to become an expert in gas. I believe the subject will well suit him. After all, his head is full of hot air. To your new career in nothingness.
Thank you so much.
You will turn your attention to the next juror's association, please, counsel.
Okay.
Hold it!
Let's see if this guy has anything else to say. Yes, the salty tea man. Salty tea, it's for me. Salt, salt in the tea. Come on, give me salt in the tea. Okay.
Hold it!
All the evidence, you say? That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing to that Japanese man with the big moustache. Says the English man with the bigger moustache. My moustache is a man's moustache. Well, the defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events in the night in question. What do you make of that? What? Your so-called skin prints?
It's an exciting new forensics investigation technique, developed by the great detective himself.
The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamspeare had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question, It can't be denied that there's a possibility that's where the poison was.
Well, yes, I won't deny that it's playing on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly said, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides,
Yes?
even if the fellow had been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before, it doesn't mean he's got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does he?
Oh,
If you can make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance. You do make a very valid point, sir.
what?
That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty.
No, wait! Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory.
If you and your Japanese courts can, that is.
Just leave our nationality out of this, please.
Mr. Naruto, if we can't substantiate our position, I'm afraid that the jurors that changed their mind before may change them back.
What can I do? Is there anything more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shamspeare really did blow into the gas pipe on the night in question? I have supporting testimony with Natsume himself. No, in truth, I don't have evidence to support my theory. However, there is witness testimony that substantiates it.
What's that? Testimony? That's incredible. Whose testimony?
Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. The circle of life. A person whose testimony reveals details about the gas in the Gyarados residence that night. Namely,
Take that!
obviously, I'm talking about the defendant. Mr. Soseki Natsume himself.
The defendant?
At the very beginning of the proceedings here in the court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following. My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings! Even on that fateful night it happened, when I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me! On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not? Good golly!
So that chance here, fellow, who blew air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove go off on purpose?
That was yours. Why would you do that for?
Mr. Foreman,
What is it, man?
we cannot allow judgment to be passed while this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree there is more to this case than meets the eye.
Ah! Fair enough. Like I said at the onset, I'm a man of logic, first and foremost.
That's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. We've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue. As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination has concluded with a majority of jurors altering the decision. And this episode, I believe, is at its own point of conclusion, because I think now would be a good time to end things off. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. With that, I'll see you next time. Bye.